Okay, sorry I've been away a little bit, just kind of taking a holiday weekend there. Got busy with family, but we're back on track now. So we're going to finish up till there was you. We went through the bridge and then we came back around to the beginning of the song. Most songs kind of have that form where they basically, we call it a AABA. You play the beginning of the song twice, then you go to the bridge like we did where it goes to that F6. That would be considered the bridge. And then we come back to the beginning of the song, which is A. So therefore you have that AABA structure, which is probably the most common song structure in our hemisphere. So we're coming back around after that G to that G7 augmented, and then what we did is slide our pinky up to that E, go to the 6th fret, and come back to the C major 7. Now we're essentially back at the beginning of the song. So what I'm going to do is use this section there, the next couple of measures, to demonstrate how we can use different forms of that diminished chord, seeing how we're talking a lot about the diminished chord in the context of this song. So we play that pickup note, that 5-6 once again, come to that C major 7, and then we continue on with the song. We can play that 5-6 again. Now one thing that we could do is we could slide that pinky up to the 8th fret, and then on the inner 4 strings we can play that same C sharp diminished but in an entirely different form. And the way that would tab out, just playing on the inner 4 strings, would be 7, 8, 6, 8. So once again, just playing the inner 4 like that. That would be your C sharp diminished. And that's actually a pretty handy way to get to it, coming off the C major 7. Let me demonstrate again. We have those two pickup notes, the 5-6 on the B string, to the C major 7. Play that 5-6 again. Slide the pinky up to the 8th fret, and play the C sharp diminished there. Okay? We can also do it another way, and that's kind of what I want to talk about, the different ways we could play these two chords. So I'm going to start at the 5-6 again, play the C major 7, play that 5-6, and then, now what I like about that version is it has the bass note as the C sharp. So the way that would tab out, starting on the A string, is the 4th fret, and then what we do is we have that first finger creating this little half bar on the 3rd fret of these 3 highest strings, and the pinky is on the 5th fret of the B string. So let's see how we get there once again. I'm going to keep starting at that same spot, that 5-6, to the C major 7. And then we play the 5-6. Now when we get to that C sharp diminished chord, we're just sliding that pinky back to the 5th fret and playing the C sharp diminished there. So let's look at those two ways again, starting at the 5-6 each time, to the same C major 7, playing the 5-6 and sliding up, same chord, C sharp diminished, and then we talked about doing it this way. Sliding up and back. That one's a little tricky because of that half bar on the first finger. but it's still a nice chord form to use there. Or, finally, we could just go back to the C sharp diminished that we used at the very beginning of the song. And then just come back to this one. So once again, just three slightly different voicings of the same chord, the C sharp diminished. So I find it interesting to see that you can use any one of those three varieties because they all have that G note in the melody. Or okay, I hope you find that interesting too. But then the song continues on. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to start at that 5/6. I'm going to use this one. Then I'm going to play that 5/6 with my first finger to my second finger. I'm going to leave my second finger down and I'm going to drop into this D minor 7 chord, which would be tabbed 5, 7, 5. And then I have my pinky on the 8th fret of the B string. So I'm going to strum that down to the pinky, lift the pinky up, and go back to the second finger there. Once again, playing it from the top. Up to this diminished. Reach back with the first finger, to the second finger, leave the second finger down, and then I have, like I said, 5, 7, 5, and the pinky up here on the 8. Okay? And I lift that up and get back to the second finger on the 6th fret of the B string. And then what I'm going to do is take that pinky and bring it up to the 8th fret of the high E string, and then lift it up back to the bar on the 5th fret of the high E string. So that's the sound that you want there at that portion of the song. Like that. So you need that full bar on the 5th fret when you get to that D minor 7. And then after that, we'll go back to that F minor like we did in the first time through the song. So that chord we're going to keep the same. So I'll play the entire thing starting at that 5/6. Reaching back with the first finger to the second finger, leaving the second finger down, creating the bar with the first finger, pinky up on the 8th fret there, lift it up, put the pinky up on the high E, and lift it up again. And then my ring finger is already on the right string, so I'm just sliding that down to the 4th fret to play that F minor, which, as I said, is the chord that we used at the very beginning when we first started playing this song. I'm looking at it right here. Yeah. And then from there, we can play the rest of the song the same. And then when we end the song, we'll just play a C chord. Just end on that with that C note in the melody. Okay, so once again I'm going to pick it up. I'll play through the bridge. I'm going to play the second sheet. We have the CFC there. Going up to that F6. To the F sharp diminished, just sliding down. sliding up to the C, and then I'm playing the open E to the D sharp minor 7, and back down to the D minor 7, D9, G7, now here is the new stuff, to the C major 7, C sharp diminished, reach back with the first finger to second finger, keep the second finger down, pinky up, pinky again and up, sliding the ring finger down to the F minor, and then continuing on just end on the C chord. And we could go to an F and back to a C. Okay, so I tabbed it out the one way, but you can, if you want, you know, kind of go back to the beginning of this lesson and realize that you can, even though we used this form, you can practice going to the other forms. We discussed that one, which is actually a good choice, and we might even look further at incorporating that into the song, unless you're by now entirely sick of this song, which is possible, but it's useful. I don't know, you say you need more time to practice, so you know, maybe you're struggling with it a little bit, but it's sometimes that is a good thing, as long as it's not frustrating. If you're having a hard time with a song, but you're still learning and your hands are being, you know, playing chord forms that are difficult, that's actually a good thing, as long as it's not, like I said, to the point of frustration, because it just trains your fingers to do new things. It trains your brain to think about music more completely and not just in its simplest terms. So there is something to be gained even if you're struggling with it. So you'll just have to let me know how you perceive what this song has done for you. I'd kind of like to hear that. You know, what degree of success would you say you're having? You know, are you like just frustrated by it, or you feel like, you know, you're beginning to get a handle on it? I'd like some feedback on that. And then, yeah, but that'll be, like I said, we may look at one more thing on this song, but after this I plan on looking at that Billy Strings version of Summertime, which will actually be quite a bit simpler in its own way, but this was well worth the time and effort. So there you go. And we'll talk to you again. Wait to hear from you.